Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we'll be performing lab 9, which is implementing web apps, and the module is serverless computing. So let's go ahead and start. So this is the architecture that we're going to create today. And coming to the tasks, so there are 6 different types of tasks that we'll be performing. So the first one would be creating a web app, and the second one would be creating the staging deployment slots. The third one is configuring web app deployment settings, and the fourth one is deploying code to the staging deployment slot. The fifth one would be swapping the staging slots. The sixth one would be configuring and testing the autoscale of Azure web app. So these are the 6 different tasks that we'll be performing. So let's go ahead and start with the first task, which is creating the web app. So for that we have to go to the app service. So if you go to the search bar, here you can search for app service, and you can click the app service. And right now we don't have any app services related to this particular portal, so we'll be going and creating a new one. So click create, and in this case select the appropriate subscription that you have, and coming to the resource group, we have to select a new one according to the docs. So let me select appropriate resource group. So you can directly create the resource group from here, or you can create group resource before and then you can select it. So based on your preference you can do it, but however this is the easy way, so we can prefer this one. So okay, so we have successfully created the resource group, and the next one would be creating the name of this particular web app. So we have to create a name such that it is globally unique name. So I'll be so this should be fine. So just add the initials of your name so that it looks unique. So that is what I'll do usually when I'm creating some unique names in the Azure portal. So that is one. And coming to the publish, we'll be going with the code. So click the code, and if that is related to container, you can click the container. And the static web app is a recent one, so it's create a new one, and you can create the static web app from here. However, so since we are not dealing with that, we'll be going with the code. And coming to the runtime Slack. So basically this runtime Slack defines the technology Slack used to develop the particular app that we are creating right now. So if you read for example, if you read the lab scenario from lab 9, it mentioned that the websites are running on Windows servers using PHP runtime Slack. So it's related to PHP, so we'll be using PHP 7.4 in this case. So if you go to runtime Slack, and here we have to select the PHP. There you go. So select PHP 7.4, and coming to the operating system, that would be Windows, and the region would be East US. So I'll select East US. So most probably we'll be using East ES unless and until there is some restrictions for this particular location, which I don't think we'll be having. So usually we'll be going with East US. And we have the app service plan here, so you can just leave it default, and finally you can review and create it. So this is the first task that we are doing now. So once it's done, you can go and review and create. Probably the validation will be passed because there is no restrictions for this, there is no policy. So if you create it, so once it is done, we'll be going to that web app. So you can go to the resources, and here you can check the URL here that we have got for this particular web app. You can check this. So you can see it's working successfully. And the next thing that we are going to do is we'll be going to the deployment, and here you can see there is a deployment slots, so click that. So right now we only have one slot, which is the production. So if we talk about slots, it allows your function to run different instances called slots. Right now we only have one instance, but we can create like multiple. And slots are different environments exposed via publicly available endpoints. So one app instance is always mapped to the production slot, and you can swap instances and assign the slot on demand. So this is what the definition of the deployment slots according to the docs. And now we'll be creating a new slot here, and let me tell you the advantages, like why we are going to use these slots. Okay, so before that, let's create one, and then we can talk about it. So there is an option called add slot, so click that. So right now we have only production, so let's give it the name as staging. And so we have options, so we just do not clone settings and click add. So once it is done, we can see another deployment slot in this particular dashboard. So we'll just wait for that. So yeah, now you can see there is other one which is called the web the application name and the staging. So this is the other one, and if you see the traffic, like 100% traffic is redirected to the production one. So we can manage it in the further tasks. So for this particular app that we have created, the slot that we have created just now, it doesn't have any traffic right now. So let's talk about the slots, why we are going to use the slots. The first advantage is differentiating environments for different purposes. So using different slots gives you the opportunity to differentiate apps instances before swapping to the production or the staging slot. So that is one of the feature of this. And coming to the second one, it's pre-warming. So deployment to the slot instead of directly to the production allows the app to warm up before going to live. So before going into the production, we'll just use it the other. Additionally, using the slots reduces the latency for HTTP triggered workloads. Instances are warmed up before deployment, which reduces the cold start for newly deployed functions. So I hope you guys have understood the sentence that I have told. So sometimes when you directly deploy it without any testing it or something, so usually it gets stuck. I mean, it cannot have those workloads. So for this, we'll be for this testing, we'll use this, and once this is done, we'll next shift it to the production environment. And the other one is easy fallbacks. So coming to this, after the swap with the production, so when you have tested it, so right, you have tested it and it's working properly, and then you have created a new one called production, and you have then shifted to the production. So after the swap with the production, the slot with previous staged app now has the previous production app. If the changed swap into the production slot aren't as expected, we can immediately reverse the swap to get the last known good instance. So if the latest one doesn't look good, we can again go back and use the previous version. So that is what easy fallbacks is. So these are the three reasons why we use the slots. The first one would be differentiating environments for the different purposes. The second one would be pre-warming, and the third one would be easy fallbacks. So that is what the difference, this is why we use the slots. So let's stop for this, and in the next video we'll be talking about configuring the web app deployment settings. So I hope you guys have understood the concept of today's video. So if you have liked the video, please click the like button below, and if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel, and please share the video. Thank you.